You see the little shit going. That's a video.
Who are you looking to get in the ring with? Who are you targeting?
I'm hoping that Adam Kaunowski makes a great job of his opponent tonight, and he's be able to get back in the ring in 90 days. If not him, Andy Ruiz would be a great show here on the West Coast. And I've also been throwing opponents like Luis Ortiz. At this point, I want to fight top opposition and give the fans what they want to see.
So let's say you got the pick of those three. Who are you going for?
Andy Ruiz, for sure. Andy Ruiz has made a big splash in the heavyweight game. We've exchanged the ring a couple times as far as sparring. He knows what I got, and I know
you
what he
sparred
is.
with him.
So it'll be an exciting fight, and I think it's a fan favorite fight. He's a big brawler. I like to step into the ring and put some leather to his face as well. So it'll be a good one.
Who got the best of the sparring?
You know, we both had our better days. That's the best of the competition, but I think I got the better of him with the height and the reach, of course.
Wow. Dominique Brazil calls out Andy Ruiz. Of course, he mentioned Adam Kaunowski and Luis Ortiz. He wants to fight some of the better opposition out there. But he calls out Andy Ruiz for sure. Now, this is bold by Mr. Trouble, Dominique Brazil, even though he was KO'd with one punch in the first round against Deontay Wilder. A lot of people look at him now as not so much. Dominique Brazil's always been the same type of fighter. He's a fighter that's going to come right at you. He's a slower style fighter. I would love for him to fight someone like Joe Joyce, because they're around the same speed as far as punching, you know. I think Joe, I don't know, because they're both bangers. There's someone like Andy Ruiz, him and they're fighting together. That would be a good fight, because you know, Dominique Brazil, he comes to fight, and Andy Ruiz, he does love someone to come right at him like Anthony Joshua did in their first encounter to try to finish him off, and he ended up hurting Joshua, changing the tide of that fight. You know, but Brazil and Ruiz would be a very good fight. I mean, that would probably be one of the fights of the year. You know, Adam Kaunowski, when he fought Charles Martin, was a very good fight because of the styles. I think these guys, you know, would have a really good matchup together. You know, of course, Ruiz has him in speed or whatnot, and he throws punches in bunches. But Dominique Brazil does take a shot to give his own shot right back. So, you know, he believes in the tit and tat game, and I think that'll be a lot of that until someone catches him with that defining blow that stops and changes the whole fight altogether. You know, especially since Andy Ruiz has only been down one time against the fighter that he ended up beating in that fight. So that would be a good fight. On top of that, I'm also a fan of sparring, because how you practice, how you spar is exactly how you're going to fight. If you hit the bag a certain way, you're going to hit a person the same way. Okay, if you spar a certain way, the same habits you have in sparring are the same habits you're going to have when you fight. Okay, so these guys, and according to Dominique Brazil, these guys have sparred, and Dominique Brazil has got the best of him. So says Dominique Brazil. Maybe if you ask Andy Ruiz, he'll probably tell you something different. You know, I think I got the better of him. You know, I think I was faster and I hit him a lot more. But, you know, so it depends really on who you ask. But, you know, Dominique Brazil was like, hey, I want Andy Ruiz because he made a big splash. He's done something that no Mexican heavyweight has ever done. Okay, obtained not just one heavyweight title, but all three, really four, because if you count the IBO, okay, and you might as well count it if you got the other three. So yeah, Dominique Brazil, I could really see that fight going. You know, they're both PBC fighters. Why not? You know, Adam Kaunowski bitched out on that fight, and look what happened to him. Karma. He gets knocked out in 4 rounds. So, you know, I think that Andy Ruiz is the type of guy that should take a fight like Dominique Brazil, at least that. You know, anybody else other than that at this point, you know, sure, it's always an unknown like a Helenius, but let's fight someone like Dominique Brazil. If he calls you out, you know, let that fight be done, and don't go anywhere under the caliber of Dominic Brazil, because Dominic Brazil wants it. He wants to fight the best, and if you can't have that, don't talk about a fighter without taking on a fighter. Go up and snatch up Ortiz and see if Ortiz is available for a fight. That would be a good fight also. So I would love to see that. But anyway, he calls out Andy Ruiz. Now we have to wait till Ruiz answers or responds to this call out, because, you know, he's training supposedly. So yeah, he needs to fight someone credible, and, you know, who else is more credible than Dominic Brazil on that side of the street? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Dominic Brazil calling out Andy Ruiz. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys can counterpunch. Peace.